Okay, question for you guys.
Yes.
G, you touched on this a little bit. And Steve, get 20 ready because I'm going to call for it 1 sec. We were promised all offseason a new-look offense. And from the initial review, it didn't really look like a new-look offense yesterday. It looked quite similar to what we saw in the past. Steve, if you take 20 full, this is Deshaun's pass chart from the first half yesterday. This is just the first half of the game. Greens are completions. Red's an interception. Uncolored dot is an incompletion. Do you think we'll get more of a new-look offense moving forward? Or do you think the Browns and Kevin Stefanski feel they might be handcuffed because of Watson's limitations to sticking with this super short, vanilla, intermediate to underneath passing attack?
Before you guys answer that, it's interesting because a couple of weeks ago, Deshaun Watson's quarterback coach, Quincy Avery, said Deshaun's got his arms as strong as it's ever been. Well, the way they were throwing yesterday made you think his arm's still not right. I don't know. Go ahead, Jason.
Well, I do think that their depth will improve as the season goes on. I would think. And actually, his average depth of target wasn't as. I think he actually surpassed Dak by the end of the game. I mean, that's just not on completions, just on depth of trying to get it there. They were taking deep shots late. I think a couple of factors here. Number one, Dallas is a really good defense. Number two, because they had no time together in the preseason, this was their first time together. So it was a lot of short and quick. The thing that was confusing to me about the offense, not even just the depth of the target, was it didn't look that much different to me from last year. Like the shotgun RPO thing that we thought we were going to see was non-existent. And I talked to a couple players who said there was a couple RPOs. They did have a couple called RPOs in there. I think at least one was negated by penalty. But this looked a whole – I mean, I saw Deshaun under center running play action a couple of times, which is what we saw last year. So I don't know. Maybe the grand unveiling comes next week. But so far, it looked like last year's offense to me. I didn't see a ton of difference. Am I wrong?
The route concepts were very similar. We talked about it on the postgame show. The route concepts, very, very similar to last year.
Look, man, the frustrating part about it is it's just like, man, I'm just tired of watching 1986, man. This is just 86. It's just like I was told something. We need to get rid of all the Brown CIA operatives. We're getting wrong intel. Listen, we're going to war in Afghanistan over massive weapons and we ain't got none. That's the bad intel we getting right now. This is crazy. Like we were said RPOs. I didn't see one motion play. Where's the motion? Where's the running back and forth? Where's the bunch formations? Where are I didn't see the RPO stuff. It was simple five. And here's the thing too. If you got a quarterback that is not processing plays correctly or plays fast enough, the worst thing in the world you can do is put him in 5 wide. Because now everything speeds up. Yep. Somebody could blitz and he has to throw hot. If you have a quarterback that's slow processing, you don't put him in 5 wide. Ask yourself, how many times do you see Mahomes in 5 wide? No. There's always a running back. There's always a tight end. Like, I don't know why they think that's the answer. But that offense that we saw was not different than anything we said. Like Jason said, they was running play action. They got under, and it's wild because they can't even run the type they want to because they don't have that many tight ends. It's like a crisis of identity. Like when I watch the Browns on offense and people say what went wrong, it was so bad and so vanilla that I don't even know. I can't gauge what it was they were trying to accomplish. Because they didn't try to run the ball. They weren't attacking vertically. They weren't throwing screens. I don't know what that was. And getting in 3rd and 10 and throwing under the sticks, you got to stop doing that.
They did it almost every time.
Before you go, there was one person who kept telling you, this is not good, guys. This is a disaster.
He said it.
Zach Jackson came on here and kept saying, hey, this is awful. This looks terrible. Nothing looks good.
I'll give him credit.
He was right.
And
I'll give him credit.
He was
Tyvus,
right.
by the way, was also right that the Nick Chubb was a bigger loss than Deron Bland in this game.
Yeah, 100%.
He was right about that.
100%.
Well, I think we expected Deshaun to be able to throw the ball more than 10 yards, which negates the Deron Bland aspect. But
yeah, I mean, the offense did look the same. It didn't look creative. I don't know. I think 2 years in a row, we've all just said it was going to be different, and then it became, well, the Browns said it was going to be different.
Well,
But it was really
Deshaun talked about the changes, that it was going to be different. They were going to run choice routes now, and it's between him and the receiver what they're going to run based on the scheme that they see at the line of scrimmage. So
They even talked about it on the broadcast. They said the NASCAR package there early.
They ran one play on the
Yeah.
second drive. They went up tempo, and Brady called it out, and he mentioned the NASCAR package on that play. And we didn't see it again after that.
By the way, did we have some time to talk about how awful Tom Brady was?
Yeah, at the end of the show,
Okay.
we got it's built in.
We're gonna get to that too. I thought that was AI.
Man.
I thought they body swapped him.
Jeez. He missed training camp too, apparently.
We will get to that.
Ouch.
We'll get to that. But hold up, Bull, to your point, you said the
Yeah.
last 2 years we've just talked ourselves into it.
Yeah.
I'll give you that last year. They brought in a new offensive coordinator.
Right.
They brought in a new quarterback coach. They brought in a new running backs coach. They have a new offensive line coach. You would think, despite the fact Stefanski's still the one calling plays and he's still in charge of everything, with all that change and the way they talked about it and wanting to let Deshaun play more freely, give him more options, these choice routes, these RPOs, all that, it was either the world's greatest prank and mirage or they lied to us.
I don't know. Maybe they just felt like maybe Deshaun's shoulder's still not 100%. Maybe they were because he didn't play in the pre. I don't know what it was. Maybe they were being extremely conservative this first game, and as they go, they're going to loosen up a little more. But that's an indictment too, that they weren't prepared for Week 1.
they totally were not prepared for Week
Yeah.
1. The one positive you could say about Deshaun, obviously he took a lot of hits, and he kept getting up.
They made it through the game.
So the shoulder, I think.
Tough as shit.
I was
for sure.
was surprised he was still playing on that. I was like, what was the point at the end?
The hit he took, the throw he made to Amari Cooper that just went through Cooper's hands at the end. Well, I thought it was his best throw of the whole game.
Yeah.
And he stood in the pocket, down by 23 points, and took a freaking shot from a 320-pound lineman. Like, toughness cannot be questioned for this guy.
See, my only beef with that, sorry, G, my only beef with that, and I agree he's tough. Is there any quarterback in the NFL you're going to question their toughness?
But, I mean, more importantly.
I just feel like that's nonsense because you can't be tough and be soft and be in the NFL, can you?
Not all of them are tough. Like,
I mean, who's a quarterback who's not tough?
I mean, all the
Daniel
players
Jones.
are tough.
Yeah.
I'll just say this: like, he couldn't come out that game.
He needs the reps.
I guess.
And furthermore than that, he needs to see because he has to get people on his side. Like, you got to endear yourself to your teammates. Like, there's a level of when you are the quarterback and people believe in you and believe in what you preaching and believe in what you're saying. One of the true innate talents of great quarterbacks is to make people around them believe that even if you're down 50 with 1 minute to go, you can still win. And they play inspired. They will play above their head. They will go out and leave their feet. That's why it was disappointing for me, because when I saw Amari Cooper, I'm like, Amari Cooper makes that play. That ain't a play Amari Cooper don't make.
No.
Like, it didn't seem as if there was people going out of their way to, like, say, no, guys, we got. And that was, to me, that was the most alarming thing, because they got punched in the face and never really fought back.
No.
At home.
No response. There was no legitimate response
Never really stepped up and said, hey, we could do this. Now, I didn't want to bring this up, but we're here now. We say the last 2 years that the offense has not been what they've told us. I got to believe that one of the things that was the biggest thing that they brought Deshaun Watson in for was the thought process was, look, if we can get that guy with Nick Chubb, he can cover up a lot of things. And I think for a lot of years here, under the Stefanski regime, Nick Chubb covered up a lot of stuff. Nick Chubb can make the first guy miss. Nick Chubb makes something out of nothing. He's a home run hitter. He is the mixer of what they got. And the thought process was, if we get Deshaun Watson and Nick Chubb, that's something we can work on and we can move. But when you take Nick Chubb out and now you want to move to a predominant passing game, you're starting to see the growing pains of what you have to be as a quarterback to throw the ball and be the lead dog. It's on my shoulder every day.
But
I think they miss Nick Chubb more than people will exponentially know.
And that's fair, but he never had a good running game in Houston, and he was great.
But here's the thing. That Houston Deshaun, that's what, to me, we say Houston.
That's gone.
Houston Deshaun wasn't good enough. That's what we got to get to. Yes, that was nice and pretty, but that Houston Deshaun, that wasn't good enough to beat the people that he needed to beat, right? Like, we act like he was winning Super Bowls in Houston.
You know,
No.
that's fair, but he played at an elite level in Houston.
Yes.
He played individually at an elite level in Houston. And obviously, when you traded for him and you paid him, that's what you were expecting.
Yeah,
we weren't expecting him to be a system quarterback. We weren't expecting him
I'll
to be
take a
along for
system
the run.
quarterback at this point.
Yeah. I mean,
The numbers he's putting up are in
they're
like
terrible.
the Daniel Jones
Yes,
level.
I had somebody, you know, obviously this question is going to come up after what Baker did yesterday. And, like, Baker's irrelevant at this point, but
He had a great game.
somebody asked me, would you rather have Baker right now? And yeah, I mean, you would. I mean, it's fair.
Yeah, I don't
listen,
wanna-
I know it's silly. I
Yeah.
know it's silly at this point, but the guy asked me the question, so I answered.
No,
honestly.
it's fine. Yeah.
I didn't think Baker was the long-term answer. We've been through this a million times. It really is silly to
Right.
The point is,
We can't do it after every game.
right.
But he
The
played
point is
great
that
yesterday.
Deshaun has been so bad that
Baker would be an upgrade.
it would be an upgrade right
Yeah.
now. Right now, yes.
That's
he would.
fair. Yeah.
To me, I just look at it and I say, you might have to just say it's not what you used to be. It's what are we doing today, man?
Right, that's true.
Like, what are we
Yeah.
what are we doing today to get this dude playing? You got to turn over every leaf, and I know people saying, "Oh, you're flip flopping. Oh, you're being a knee jerk reaction. It's just one game." No, there are certain things that happen on a football field that when any player or former player sees it, it's alarming. Energy level, not being ready to go on the first, and then two, the leadership factor. It's almost like you can't be the quarterback and be at arm's length. It just seemed like he arm's length away from people. Like, I don't see the interaction. I don't know what he's doing in the locker room, but I know that at certain point in times when any quarterback see the ship sinking, it's fight or flight.
I saw Lamar Jackson in the Ravens.
Right.
He's getting up with his teammates. He's like talking to him. He's screaming. I don't know
Let's
what he
go.
was saying.
Like, I saw Dak
Like
moving up and down.
I don't think maybe it's happened and we just don't see it on TV. I feel like I never see. Did Deshaun ever do that? You were at the game, Jason. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I wasn't watching. I'm not going to act like I had
Yeah.
binoculars on him the whole time. When I saw him, no, he wasn't doing
It
that.
seems
But
like
that
he's just
doesn't mean he
always
didn't.
just standing there.
Yeah.
Like there's nothing.
And everybody has their own way of leading. I'm not saying everybody has to be a rah-rah guy, but I want to let people know, like for the Cleveland Browns, I've seen this happen before where you have expectations, a few bad things happen in the beginning of the season, and it just carries and carries and it snowballs. Sometimes you got to sense that and stop it right in its tracks. Like, guys, we're not going to do that. Let's get it going.
Yeah, and you can't. Your quarterback's got to be a leader. You're right. Some guys are more yellers or more, but on some level, your quarterback's got to be the leader. He's the most important player on the team. He's got to be a leader. I remember covering the Giants when Eli Manning first went to the Giants, and that was a veteran team, and Tiki Barber was kind of the leader of that offense. And when Eli Manning first took over, Tiki Barber still kind of ran the offense. And they didn't become a good team until Eli took control of that team. The quarterback's got to lead the way. Other guys can be leaders throughout the team, but the quarterback's got to lead the way. I believe that, especially, specifically for the offense. And doesn't appear to be the case.
Can you think of an instance where the quarterback wasn't the leader?
On the team that won?
Yeah, like the Ravens?
Not
like
recently.
Ray Lewis, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, that was probably it. Not in this era of the NFL.
I can't think of one. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, certainly like the 85 Bears. I don't really think of –
I think McMahon was, actually.
Yeah, he was.
Kind
Even though he wasn't that good.
He's
But
a nut job.
One last thing on this, and we'll move on. Joe Thomas, before I show you the clip, Joe Thomas said this is not a big issue. It happens all the time.
Yeah.
It made its way around social media, so I just want to bring it up real quick.
Yeah.
But this was late in the game, Steve, you can take it full. Batonio, after a play, Watson tries to help him up, and Batonio says, "Get out of here! I got it myself."
Whoa.
Joe Thomas said,
Joe's
"No big
response
deal."
was great. Do you have it? Do you have Joe's response?
I can bring it up. It's gonna be too long for Social News Desk. Because Social News Desk is a joke, but we can give you what Social News Desk will actually show you.
Shout out to our
Joe
sponsors.
handled this perfectly in Joe's
In
special.
fairness, as much as we love Joe, he's never critical of the
Well,
Browns.
no, but I hear you.
Yeah.
But on this, I think he's
You want me to
right.
read it?
He's right.
Yeah, just
He's
read
right.
it.
Go ahead.
Just
I'm going to read
it.
you Joe's Thomas response. Ant's going to pull it up when it's ready. Social News Desk won't show you the whole thing because Social News Desk is a joke. It sucks. We hate you, Social News Desk.
All right.
Here's what Joe Thomas said, quote, "Whether Joel loves Deshaun or hates Deshaun, I have no idea. But this video doesn't tell you anything. Big old offensive linemen are like turtles. And as you can see, it's going to cut you off right here because it sucks. We can't get up unless we roll over and do the push-up to our kneel to stand routine. Achy backs, big bellies, lots of bracing on our knees and ankles. It's nearly impossible to help us up like that. We just
Facts.
can't bend like the skinny skill guys. I did that several times in my career, and then people realized to not try and help me up anymore. Carry on, nothing to see."
That's facts.
Yeah.
That's 100%.
I believe-
facts.
I
I've done
believe
it
Joe on this one.
I've done it. I've seen it. I've done it millions of times. And you're just like, bro, you're not going to, you know how strong you got to be to lift up a 300-pound man with one arm. This is not basketball, and that is not Darius Garland.
And Joel Batonio's a lot more than 300
Right.
pounds.
That's not nothing,
Yeah.
man.
With braces. I love
Yeah,
the
yeah.
turtle reference. Though.
And I love
like turtles.
and
That's
I
good.
love how he said, I don't know if he liked Deshaun Watson or hates
Yeah,
him.
right.
I mean, who knows? He might
Yeah.
hate him and he could have did that, or he loved him and hated
Yeah.
him, but I don't think that says anything.
Yeah,
I'm
fair
correct.
enough. Fair enough.